If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Good evening and welcome to episode 30 of Horsin' Around right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I am your proud but a bit tired host, Howard Kravitz. Thanks for joining us tonight, along with co-host of Bet and Boozin' and fellow 2024 Saratoga Traveler, Patrick Kunzel. Pat, we got a lot to talk about. We got a big crowd that's going to be joining us tonight. What a week, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, such a fun week. Saratoga never disappoints. Even though we might not have had a couple people within the group, every year it's just a blast. Seeing new faces, seeing people that, were in the chat every night that we're on, and then, being able to meet them, have dinner with them. It was just a great time. And also, there was some pretty good racing that went on.
Real good. We're going to talk about some of the racing first with some stake action, talk about a personal triumph for me. And I guess any triumph for one of us is a triumph for all of us, right, Pat, the way we are as a family. So big win with Gem Min 10 we'll talk about. And then we'll reminisce a little about the trip and got some pictures and videos to show. We did a live show, which had massive viewership, Patrick, almost 3,000 views at this point. We had several hundred people watching live, which is really cool. I'm sporting my $36 premium Saratoga hat. Hey, it's worth it. What the hell? I needed a white hat. You got your HHH hat on. I love it. Please make sure you subscribe to the bottom right-hand side of the screen, everyone, and smash that like button and hit the notification bell in the top right-hand corner if you are watching on YouTube. We would greatly appreciate it. And also, of course, join yourself in the chat. We already have like 20 comments. It's crazy. In fact, let's get to a few of them real quick here, Patrick. Let's see who's here. We've got, look who's here. I mean, come on. Matt Miller, can't wait to relive another hour of this trip. Yep, it was amazing. Terry Frank, we had the chance to, that was your first chance meeting him, I think, Patrick. I had met him before, but he was awesome, along with Jim Pillars. We'll talk more about the trip in the sort of last 15 minutes of the show. Speaking of which, there we go. Jim Pillars, enjoyed spending time with all of you. One experience, amazing. Here's someone new that I don't believe I've seen before. Good evening, gents, all the way Edinburgh. I don't know, is that he's a fan of the soccer club, or is that where he's from? Not really sure about Jim Shorts, but okay. Thanks for joining the show, Jim. I see James here, Marco Lou. Let's see, Felipe Hernandez. Let's see, a new subscriber. There we go. From the West Coast, it looks like, or from the East Bay, Northern California. What's up, Felipe? Thanks for joining the show, man. Appreciate it. We love our California people, and he's a new subscriber. Terrific to our Del Mar Power Picks, I'm assuming. So that's awesome. Crypto Light is here. We got a lot of people here. Katie, Jeff Amster, amazing. Let me take the banner off the bottom of the screen and jump right to it. Pat, the first thing we're going to do is talk about the Jim Danny. And wow, what a race. It came up a pretty fast fig as well. Let me go ahead and bring up the PPs, or the final results of that race on the screen. Of course, Fierceness gets the job done. Patrick, I know obviously we talked about this on the show live, paid $560, which I guess, that's a nice mutual for a horse like this who's just been odds on in many races. And you see the buyer figs, got a 103 fig there, Patrick. And Sierra Leone actually ran the fastest race of his career. And I went back and looked at the race. I watched the race again. I was a little negative to him after the race because he just got second again. But overall thoughts on Fierceness and Sierra Leone. Let's just focus on those two for the most part.
Yeah, you got to give credit where credit's due to Fierceness. Ran a great race, seemed to bounce back from some of the blunders that the horses had in the past. And Johnny V rode a race that was just very intelligent. You knew the plan going in. They had a plan going in to make, Sierra Leone stay inside and can't, bounce to the outside in the stretch. And I'm not sure. I didn't take a look at what exactly the fractions were, but
111 and 1 to the 3/4. It was pretty steady the whole way. It wasn't like crazy fast. But right here, did you see that, by the way? Look at Johnny V. If you watch carefully, because I rewatched this, watch Johnny V look to his left here. Do you see right there? He looks to his left. Did you notice that, to see where people were coming. I'm not sure he really drifted out on purpose, to be honest. The only thing I could think of here, and you see, I don't think this helped Sierra Leone, by the way. When Batten Down came in, there was a small bit of contact. I think, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but my gut feeling after analyzing watchings, I don't think Johnny V wanted to be close to Sierra Leone. I think his thought was, I don't want Sierra Leone to have to look me in the eye. I know Sierra Leone hasn't gone by people, but that was my gut feeling. I don't. It was weird. I mean, they were like 5 paths apart here, Pat.
Yeah, they were. And also, I was reading after the race on DRF. They were saying that the inside of the track was playing a little bit deeper. I'm not sure if that's kind of the way that
Mm.
Saratoga always plays, but that could be another reason. I know Chad said that that might have been a little bit of an issue for Sierra Leone on the inside, but you can make up excuses for that. Fierceness ran an awesome race.
He did. He ran well. I mean, he didn't run his Florida Derby number, but he certainly came back and ran a 103, which matches up with Dornock and I guess the best 3-0s in the division right now. Of course, you know what's going to happen in a few seconds from now. Sierra Leone's going to win the gallop out, but that doesn't mean anything to me because you figure, I mean, you know that's going to happen, right? He's a closer and Fierceness shut it down. I have to believe it to see it for Fierceness not going to the Travers. I know you and I
Yeah.
talked about this and we had a group conversation. He's a little bit of a smaller horse, and Rapoli, said maybe they're not going to go there and they want to save him for, the classic and bigger races down the road. I know he's got Mind Frame. Isn't Fierceness? I'm ready to say Fierceness is just a better horse than Mind Frame right now, or at least more polished. I know Fierceness is inconsistent, but doesn't Fierceness have a better chance to win the Travers than Mind Frame as of right now, or no?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I'm going to reiterate what you said about you got to believe it to see it. Mike from Queens, I don't think would opt for the Pennsylvania Derby over the Travers. And I know there's obviously a gap in when that is, and there's more time. And, trainer Todd Pletcher did say that this horse seems to appreciate more time in between races. But I find it hard to believe that they would do that.
I agree with you. I don't know, what to say. We're going to see what happens. I mean, Sierra Leone's definitely going to Travers, and uh, this is a race I feel like he should have won. But you know what, Pat? It didn't really. I mean, it set up okay, but there was supposed to be a lot more speed. I mean, it was almost a 24-second first quarter for these horses. That's pretty slow. I know the track's playing slow in general, but that's a little bit slow. Um, I don't know. I don't think Chad can do anything different. Now, he did stay straight though, Sierra Leone. I'll say that. But before people get too excited, I think the reason for that is because the rail was there. I mean, when Todd trained this horse down in Florida, Patrick, and I showed you guys some workouts as we followed, the trail, he was always working on the inside with Sierra Leone. I think part of the reason because the rail is there. So the fact that he kept straight in this race, I'm not sure I'm going to give him extra credit for that, to be honest. I want to see him on the outside staying straight. I don't know. Sierra Leone is a really nice horse, but he's just a tough call. I guess it depends on what price he'd be in the Travers, right? Whether you might want to take him on or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting rough every time. You appreciate the horse, getting a piece every time. But at the odds that the horse is and how talented the horse is, it just can't keep happening.
No, he's won, by the way, $2.2 million.
It's incredible.
And we're in the middle of, he's 7 for 7 in the money. He's won 2.2 million. I'm just looking at the PPs. I didn't show them, but I probably should have. Here's Fierceness PPs, Patrick. I mean, it's crazy, right? Just a yin yang all over the board. 105, 84, 110, 67, 103. Does that mean he's not going to fire next time? I'm not prepared to say that. And this horse has almost won $2 million. So, Patrick, people say, oh, the 3-year-old division is weak. I mean, you got this horse, you got Sierra Leone, you got Dornock. Okay, maybe it's not the strongest real crop we've seen. I still think it's decent. I think it's okay. I would say it's middle of the road. I wouldn't say it's poor.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's good stories, and I mean Dornock. You feel like I know is proven, but people still kind of say negative things. And how really good is he? And I mean, he's he's pretty good. And we're talking about 3 or 4 horses, and then you talk about a female that might be coming into this race that's, they call the grizzly bear. So it's setting
I,
up to be a great Travers.
I have in my notes just two words: Torpedo Anna, because I know you want to talk about the grizzly bear. Uh, Torpedo Anna, who's pretty much confirmed to go to the Travers. I know you and I have pretty strong disagreement on her chances. We got a month to talk about it, but no matter whether you would like Torpedo Anna or not in the Travers, that is a fascinating entry for sure.
Oh, it sure is. It just makes it a better race. And Kenny McPeak said that, the horse has done everything against, her class and her age, now step to the same age, but with the boys, give her another challenge, see how she does. It's one of
Yeah.
those things that, people are going to disagree with, but I think for the sport, it's great.
Now, we did a live show, Patrick, right? By the way, Seize the Gray, I have no idea what they were doing. This horse should have been on the lead. They took back. It reminded me of when they took back with Dornock,
Yeah.
in Florida, and it was a complete disaster. I have no idea why Seize the Gray was purposely taken back. I don't think we're going to see that again because I think that actually hurt Sierra Leone. We did a live show. We had almost 3,000 views at this point. We had like 500 people watching live. It was really cool at our gazebo there, Patrick, and we had some interesting reactions from our group after the race was run. I'm going to show two quick segments. One is immediately after the race with Philly Joe Mecca and Matt Miller in the background. The other one's only Matt Miller in the background. Let me go ahead and bring this on screen. I'm actually going to leave you on screen also here, Patrick, as I go ahead and bring this up here in just a moment. Actually, I got to take it down, then bring it up. Give me 1 second here. Hold on. So these reaction videos, I watched the races again, or I watched our show again, and I thought it'd be sort of fun. And even if the sound doesn't work, by the way, you don't really need to hear anything. You just need to watch. So I'll bring it up on screen here, Patrick. This is right after the race is over. Let me go ahead and play it.
The Jim Dandy by a length over Sierra Leone. You might see the gallop out behind us there. If Joe gets out of the way, there's the gallop.
So on the extreme right, you can see the horses, right? Like here's the gallop out. And I wanted Joe to sort of get out of the way, and he'll get out of the way in a second. Of course, there's Matt's reaction, Matt was very high on Fierceness in this race. I'll just let it roll again for a few seconds here.
About Fierceness with the
Patrick, we knew how to have fun, didn't we?
Oh, we sure did. And that was such a great idea on your part, doing the live show from the gazebo with that setting.
Thanks.
The crowd around us, a lot of people were standing because they were walking in and out from the 1863 club. So it was kind of, you got to see the crowd interaction in the background. People were listening, hearing Howard talk or, anybody that came on. It was perfect. I mean, we went to dinner that night and somebody sitting down at Salivo even said something. Oh, you were the guys that, had the show going. And, it was perfect setting and the perfect group of guys to do it with.
It was great. Now this one, you haven't seen this, Patrick. I've seen this now a few times. This was literally like 20 seconds after that segment that you just saw. And I have to actually, I want to make sure we get the sound because this was sort of fun. So here's about 20 seconds after what just happened. Check out the left side of the screen. I think you'll enjoy the celebration here from Mr. Matt Miller.
A relatively comfortable 3/4 of a length. Matt Miller is a little bit happy there in the background.
And by the way, people can't see this. This isn't the black shirt, Patrick. You want to tell everyone what coach that was in the black shirt that was like literally 20 yards away from us most of the day there in the 1863 area?
Yeah, that was Coach Ryan Day of Ohio State, who was hanging right next to us pretty much all weekend. It was amazing. I mean, we even had, we had college coaches in the background of that live show. It was perfect.
We saw a lot. We'll get to Salivo a little bit Saturday night. That was like a who's who of celebrities. Plus some very interesting, let's just say, conversations we saw at a certain dinner table. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That was outside. Anyway, we had a lot of fun, right? It was amazing. Congratulations to Rapoli and Fierceness and all of them. I just want to say the last thing about Sierra Leone. I don't think he's hanging, Patrick. It's not like he can win these races and like isn't getting the job done. I guess you could make that argument in the Derby, but he is running big races. He's just not quite getting there. He's going to win a big race. I don't know if it's the Travers, the Penn Derby, the Classic. I got a feeling you're going to start getting better odds on him. I mean, it's going to be hard for me to not take him in the Travers like 4-1. I'm just throwing out a number, right? I mean, I don't know. There's a big race in him, Patrick. I firmly believe that to win. But maybe I'm just, I'm just too committed to this horse, but he just runs too well not to get one of these, I feel. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that I agree. I have a problem with that too, with sticking with a horse for too long and they keep burning me and then they end up burning me when I'm not on the horse. I'm just gonna say, if you did make that comment with the group after that race, you would have been getting you would be hearing it, because
I know.
everybody filed the divorce papers on Sierra Leone. I mean, when we were making our group pick 5 ticket, it took a little bit of time to figure that one out.
I said after his last race I was done with him, but this race seemed to set up so well for him. But anyway, I want to move on with the show. But it was a great. The Jim Dandy was great. Now the race after that, Patrick, was the highlight for the week for me, and I don't expect anyone else to necessarily say that. Everyone's got their own. I'm going to ask you, by the way, in a minute, your highlight. And I'll tell you what Noah Maher said also. This horse here, unbelievable. Gemmin 10 for Adelphi Racing, won for me. I have a small percent, but it's not like a 0.5%. It doesn't really matter whether I have 5% or 25%. Who really cares? Last year, Patrick, a horse called Certified Lover Boy, and I have a nice framed picture, won for me. It was the only time Adelphi won a race last summer, and I had partial ownership. And this year, the only win they've had so far, although it's only a few weeks in the meet, was again a horse that I had partial ownership of, Gemmin 10. I mean, we're not going to analyze the race, Patrick, but I will show it. He paid $670. And just tell me your thoughts as I show like the back half of the race. You don't have to talk about the race itself, but just the experience of being around everyone, including Ray Handel and Joe Migliore and everything, as he crosses the wire relatively handily. It was somewhat shocking to me that he won by 3. I mean, he ran great.
Oh, for sure. And even as the race was going on, this is kind of a little bit of a joke to start out with, but I turned. We're watching, by the Jim Dandy bar in the clubhouse, and I turn and look at trainer Ray Handel, and he's got a nice cold beverage in his hand, and he's just sipping it, watching the race. I'm like, you know what, this is really meant to be. Howard, Matt, all of us, Noah, Brad, we're all standing right there watching on the big TV screen. Howard, he likes to talk about the race and what he sees and what he prefers the jockey to do, which I appreciate, being a younger handicapper, to understand what's going on. And, even at the beginning when he tells Louis to clear and get the lead and things like that, it was perfect. And then this horse hits the top of the stretch and goes on with it. And oh my gosh, it started to get loud underneath the Saratoga clubhouse.
Well, right about here, and this, I can't remember if you were standing right next to me. I can't recall, but right here, there's like 70 people watching in our group. And I know for a fact I didn't do it because I wanted to stand out. I just am so in tune to handicapping and race flow. I was the only one right now. I said, open him up, Louis. I'm like, you know what? You got to lead. Just go on with it. Right. I know this horse doesn't have great acceleration, Patrick. And then, and he did open up a little bit, which I was happy about. And then the top of the stretch, like you said, I think everyone was yelling. I don't know. I was in some other twilight zone. But, I mean, the one coincidentally was the horse I picked on our power picks against my own horse. And I thought right about here, I thought maybe he could be caught just because I know Jem's having trouble finishing. But I mean, right about here, right there, he's re-breaking, and it was just over. He got an 84 buyer, Patrick, paired up his buyer top. I mean, look, he's no, superstar, but he is a 4-year-old. He's a New York bred. There's no reason he can't get better. And I mean, the races are going to get harder, but it's interesting to see what happens going forward with him.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I didn't know much about Jem before the race, hearing different things from you and Matt Guterre of Adelphi, hearing the horse seem to act up a lot in the paddock and things like that.
Yeah.
The horse was really calm, really calm throughout. And I thought that was amazing, amazing to see. And then, the horse gets out on the track and, just put its game face on, and it was truly a memorable moment. I mean, that was the first time I was in the Saratoga winner's circle. And that was that was something else. And just seeing everybody, hugging and stuff like that, like it was really meant to be. And it kind of shows you like the ebbs and flows of horse racing. Like,
How
you
about
kind
this
of
one,
lose.
Patrick? This
Oh, that's
picture.
great.
So now
Yep.
this was now everyone's like, where's Patrick? Patrick was right behind the camera, worried about your allergies and whatnot. But anyway, this was the day before the race. This was Friday that
Yep.
Noah and I took this nice picture. One of the reasons why he's calm, Patrick, he was gelded in the off season, so he was a little too studdish, and so we decided to geld him. I think it's for the better. So I just thought I'd show that picture. Go ahead and continue on to what you were saying. You were
I was
talking about
just
he's
gonna
calm and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about, just the group in general, and everybody's reactions to that race and being in the winner's circle and, seeing Matt Guterre and then the pictures and then the fans behind us yelling, your name, Howard, and saying congratulations. It was amazing.
So for people that don't know, I'm going to go left to right on the screen. The wonderful lady on the left is Kim Weir, who does a great job with aftercare. And next to her, to the left of Matt, is Matt's brother, David, who came in for literally, 48 hours, Patrick, for this trip. Of course, Matt, and then Philly Joe Metka to the right. And then myself and PTF both sporting our hats. And by the way, Patrick, that was PTF's first win at Saratoga as an owner. So that I
Wow.
didn't know that. So that's pretty cool. And of course, some guy named Noah and yourself, and of course Brad Anderson. Just really cool group. That was in the winner's circle. And how many people were in that winner's circle, Patrick? A lot.
Oh, there was a lot I would say more than 50 people. It was just perfect.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm trying to, let's see here. There we go. Pictures are not over. Hold on, I've got one or two more real quick that I want to show. This is a picture that I think I'm gonna frame this one or do something with. This sort of means a lot to me. This one right here. So I got to bring it up on screen. There we are. Well, that's okay. Everyone can see. I was gonna make it bigger. There's just the three of us, in the winner's circle. Pretty cool that you guys were able there to, to share it with me, because it's not that hard. Okay, it's just an N1X New York bred, turf. It's hard to win at Saratoga. It might be the hardest place in the United States to win, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. And, you're dealing with connections that, win multiple times at the meet. And, they have horses that they just point to that meet, which most connections do. But, kind of the lower syndicates are the ones that just aren't that big yet. It's,
Right.
they have to find their spots. And if they don't hit in one or two spots, you get through that meet and you're like, oh boy, like this meet's almost over. And, I have all these, all these other trainers and connections pointing to different races and trying to, win the meet and stuff like that. So it's really tough.
Raymond Cromie, feels good, don't it? For sure. Matt said no voice left. Absolutely bananas. No, I didn't have a single. Matt doesn't bet friends' horses. I know he didn't bet the race at all. So maybe that was end up being a good thing. And then this is the next day. So you were here also. Again, you're just not in the picture. This was Sunday morning. We sent hello to Jem, and he's just a sweetheart, right? And I swear, as much as I love him, I think he might love Noah Maher a little more. I'm a little bit jealous there, Pat, because Noah's that's got like the neck rub or something going. He's equine, studying horses at University of Kentucky, and I don't know. He's sort of leaning over to Noah. I'm a little bit jealous, Pat. I don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, it was both times. Noah was in front of Jem. That horse was a big fan of Noah. Whatever they're teaching him at Resolute, they're teaching him well to keep the horses calm and be friends.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It was. I thought everyone would appreciate those pictures. It was really cool for sure. Okay, now the last thing I want to do is talk about the trip in general. I'm trying to work something off the screen. Actually, I don't need anything else from the other screen. There's a few people I want to thank, Patrick, and I want to ask you a few questions. First of all, also a horse that has your name in it could be a future star, Chancer McPatrick, who apparently you didn't have a dime on, if I understand, for Chad. Is that right? It was pretty the most impressive 2-year-old I think we've seen, at least on the dirt this year at the meet.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me personally, it kind of got overshadowed because I was on the 2 horse for Bill Mott. and Junior T-Craft
ran
at
huge.
like 16-1.
Yeah.
And those the horse was cutting really fast fractions. I mean, I think they went like 21-8 and 44 and change. It
Yeah.
was a fast race, but the way that horse came on late and just chewed up that ground, especially as a 2-year-old, was ultra impressive. I mean, you said it as soon as the race was over. You said we're going to hear about this horse down the line.
Yeah, he's a serious horse. Few people I want to thank, and then I got a few questions for you. As most people know, we had a bunch of people that were on the trip, and I appreciate there's a ton of great comments in the chat. Please feel free to comment on the chat, including look at Equine Edge. What's up, Equine Edge guys? Hello, Howard and Patrick. What's going on? Few people I want to thank, in no particular order. Donnie Nelson, and you might want to thank him too. I mean, Patrick, who is Donnie Nelson, and what has he done for this group on these trips?
Oh yeah, so I mean, Donnie Nelson, works for Naira Bets. He helps out. Well, he kind of leads the, their tournaments that they run, and just all different, things with Naira Bets and what they do. As a betting platform and things of that nature. And what he's done for us. Matt kind of got me into being in contact with Donnie when I want to go up there. Being in New Jersey, I can go up there a little bit more often than others. Just how generous he is and what he offers to us and allows us to do is just tremendous. Can't thank him enough. You try and thank him, and he just keeps giving you more and more. And it's like, okay, we get all this stuff. We're just it's really generous, and can't thank him enough.
I think Noah's first reaction when he saw where we're situated at the gazebo was wow, or something, or this is ridiculous, or some kind of quote that was memorable. I want to thank PTF, Peter Thomas Forentel, in the Money Media. We were over at his little house on the east side for a most ridiculous dinner. I mean, I've actually had dinner from the chef before, but it was last year was sort of a crap show. It got rained out, as you know, Patrick, even though we were there, and we watched some movies. So anyway, thanks to PTF for his hospitality. Big thanks to Matt Cutera and Adelphi Racing. Whoops, hold on a second. There we go. Big shout out to Matt Cutera and Adelphi Racing, obviously, who took us around, and one hell of a golf cart, I must say they've got. And we able to walk the Shedrow, and just, we didn't actually go to his stretch run boxes, but you did a few weeks ago. And so anyway, shout out to Adelphi Racing and all the partners and Matt Cutera. Shout out to everyone who met us at the meet and greet, Patrick, on Saturday morning. We had, I don't know, 15, 20 fans that were there and their families. We passed out some merch, had a few beverages. You guys, B&B guys are popular, man. In fact, why don't you quickly tell everyone the 1-minute story of you and I walking on the apron on our way back to the 1863 on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, that whole afternoon was just tremendous. And then, we're walking back to the club, the 1863 club, I believe, after we're sitting in the boxes together and watching a couple races, and a fan, is on the rail. I guess he turned around as we walked past him, and he just blurts out, "Howard, Patrick, HHA podcast." And I kind of just thought to myself there, I'm just like, you know what? This is incredible. I mean, like, we're growing tremendously. I get it. But like when you're just walking casually through places and people are turning around, yelling names and things like that, saying hello, introducing themselves, that was just an awesome moment. And to just meet new fans, and they bring up stories about the shows and stuff like that. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, it was great. And the feeling that you had was the same feeling I had a few years ago at the Breeders' Cup, when it was the first time like someone shouts out my name, and I'm like worried. I'm like, I don't know, like, do I know you? And they're like, oh, they watched the podcast. It's just, I thought that was cool. That was on Friday. I said Saturday, but that was on Friday. Anyway, so thanks to everyone who came out for the meet and greet. Appreciate that as well. Hold on just one second. Just want to do something here. Also, shout out to you, young man, and your wonderful family, because myself and Noah had the opportunity to spend time with your parents and your sister on the way back home. First time I had a chance to meet them. Everyone there at home watching, listening, Patrick's a blessed guy, got a great family. Dad can cook a nice steak. I'm sure Mom helped out with dinner as well. But anyway, Patrick, just want to shout out to them and your family. That was awesome. And then I have a question for you. I addressed this to Noah. favorite moments of the week for you? I hate to put you on the spot here live, but is there one or let's say 2 or 3 moments in any order, or maybe you do have an order about the whole week that sticks out to you?
Yeah, so I'd say there's two that stick out. The one we talked about at length, Gem and 10 winning, being in the winner's circle, and kind of just seeing our group and like just seeing their faces, the emotion that we were going through after the win, just kind of just realizing how surreal that was, and then being able to see Frank Miramati call a race was just incredible. Listen, you watch on your betting app, when a race is going off, if you're not home, or even if you are home, you hear the race caller calling the race, and you just hear them call it. You don't know what they go through beforehand, how they remember things. It's just the detail of what he goes through and the different views that you get to see from the track. Oh, that was probably the highlight. So I can't thank you enough for that. And then just the group in general: Matt, Brad, David, Howard, Noah, Philly, Joe, Jim, Terry, that were hanging with us. I mean, it's just such a fun week.
Carly
And
took care of us. Carly, don't forget about Carly now.
Carly might have to be a guest on the show before Saratoga next year. I think we need to make that happen. I think she needs to
Okay.
come on and
All right.
maybe give out some winners before the meet, or I don't know. She'll have the pulse of what's going on up there before we get there. So maybe have her there.
I think we need to say who this is before people start. That was our waitress
Yeah,
at the gazebo, who was great.
yeah,
She actually made a little appearance on the show Saturday,
she
the
did.
live
Yeah.
show. After Matt passed out some winning tickets on West Hollywood, which I know is a horse you didn't want to have win. But anyway, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, for me, I mean, there's so many things, Patrick. I guess, for me, it has to be Jumpman 10. I mean, I just, after he won, I just looked in the heavens and just, had a lot of thoughts. And I don't want to get emotional here, but I almost did. It's just crazy, man. Just, to have, and it was so much better this year for me selfishly because last year, Patrick, when the Delphi horse won Certified Lover Boy, it was just Matt and I. Everyone, we got to Saratoga early last year before everyone else, and it was awesome. But it was just Matt and I. To have the entire group there in the winner's circle for this one, it could have been a maiden 20. I mean, it was just it was really cool. So yeah, and the group just keeps growing and growing, Patrick, and hopefully one of these Saratoga trips, the entire group will be there. It's not easy; everyone's got stuff going on with their families, but yeah. Anything else that you want to comment about the trip, or you know what? Shout out to our family that hosted us at the Airbnb, because this house that we get is incredible. I don't want to mention any names just out of privacy, Patrick, but the house they have, woo, we got some nice digs on this trip.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a whole nother thing too. Like you think just going to the track and going to dinner and then you kind of just come home and go to sleep and that's all it is. I mean, hanging at the house, that one night we did the Hatties and we had a great time, played
Yeah,
Del Mar. Like that was just such a fun night. So yeah, everything about the trip was just incredible and it never disappoints.
from Noah Maher. By the way, Noah wanted to be on tonight, but he's got busy. He's very busy with work and whatnot, and so he couldn't be on. But unbelievable trip with even better people. Lucky to enjoy with old friends and make many new friends, human and animal. Yes, I think Jem will be on Noah's Christmas card. We'll have to. We'll have to get back to. Well, we got to keep that relationship going. I joked with Matt Cutier, maybe Noah should, go down the shed row and give every horse a little, neck rub or whatever he's doing, because he seemed to have the magic touch. I personally think Patrick was my pep talk, because I had a little one-on-one with Jem. I said, look, you've been trying hard, but let's get the job done, man. Let's step up your game. And he did, he did one of these. I don't think he understood what I was saying, but I felt like he was saying yes. So, you know, horse whisperer, Patrick, you know me.
Oh
It
yeah.
was really cool. Terry Frank agrees. It was nice to meet everyone. Chris Walsh from Equinedge is going to try to make it next year. That'd be cool. We might have to get a few gazebos, Patrick. I don't know how many we can fit over there.
Yeah. We're gonna have to just extend out to the 1863, closer to the 1863 club with a couple gazebos.
There you go. Maybe we'll use the other one. We might have to. I don't know. We have to
Oh,
swing a deal.
that could get interesting.
Speaking of which, last thing, Salivo Saturday night. Why don't you just some name drop some famous people that you saw that I know you were excited to notice.
Yeah, that was really really cool to see. I mean, we parked kind of up the street, not to get too much into detail, but parked up the street, walking down. There's the outdoor tables at Salivo. You walk up to the hostess, and you look to your right, and there's Rick Pitino and one of the owners of the Giants, Mr. Chris Mara. You look to your left, there's Mike Francesa, the New York, famous New York radio host that retired. A couple trainers you had, Wesley Ward, Brendan Walsh, Danny Gargan, and then you had Frankie Dettori who was there. I mean, it was. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. That was just awesome. I mean, and then a great meal. So it was perfect. That was a very fun night.
Yeah, as if we're going to give short shrift to Nove and Hattie's and Chef Dan. I mean, the meals we had were, and it was, the nights were late on a few nights, and we had a few early mornings. It's, and Noah and I were working very hard on power picks and other things. So it was a long weekend, but it was a hell of a weekend. This last comment from Jim Pilars. I would love if my wife looked at me the same way Jim at 10 looks at Noah. Wow. Well, Jim, good luck. Good luck with that, Jim. Anyway, it was special. Let me go ahead and cool Kevs salute, fellas. Appreciate that. Cool Kevs. I'm going to put the closing banner on and we'll wrap up the show. Patrick, did you see the entries, by the way, for the Whitney?
Oof.
Wow. No field of 5 or 6 here, my friend. Field of 12 with basically every best handicap horse, I would say east of the Mississippi River. I mean, First Mission, Skippy, National Treasure, I Charge It. I can't remember all of them, but I mean, wow, that is gonna be one hell of a race Saturday.
Oh, it sure is. I mean, even the other stakes on the card are just tremendous. And I know I sent it to you earlier. Naira's offering a couple different bets too for the weekend because of how good the Friday card is, which I know Bet and Boozing, us younger guys will be covering. It's going to be great.
What's the bet? What's the special bet? Tell everyone. A lot of people probably don't know.
Yeah, so it's a 2-day pick 5, and it's all turf. So I believe and I could be getting this wrong, I believe that's the Saratoga Oaks and the Hall of Fame on Friday. And then the Troy, that turf sprint, the Saratoga Derby. And there's one more turf stake that I'm missing.
That's right.
On Saturday that I forget.
So it's all stakes, all pick 5 turf.
I believe so. Yeah.
Make it $1 base bet. Let's go. Let's no, maybe not. We would have to put together too big a ticket. You know what the base bet is on that?
I think it's $1.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If everyone knows for sure, let us know. But yeah, Chris, it's an all stakes pick 5. Well, we'll wrap up the show by saying Wednesday night, Bet and Boozing is going to cover the Friday late pick 5 at Saratoga coming up. And of course, Thursday night here on Picks and Ponies.
50 cents.
We are
okay. Good.
It's 50 cents. Okay. We'll be covering the Whitney Day late pick 5, which will include, I'm assuming, these turf races, or we'll make sure that includes these turf races, Patrick, as well. You can get a lot of information, by the way, on our website, hhhracingpodcast.com. Please look into our power picks. Look below the video player. We have Saturday only power picks. If you are a individual weekend subscriber, now's the time, right, Patrick? Today through Thursday midnight, sign up for the Saratoga only power picks. Sign up for Noah's Del Mar only power picks, and Noah had a 9-1 winner in the last race. I think he tipped out on Saturday, I believe, plus some other nice scores. So please look into our power picks by going on to our website. Looks like you want to say one more thing. Am I reading that correctly?
No, I just wanted to say one more thing. A moment that came into my head was, obviously Noah does the Del Mar power picks, and he tipped out on Thursday like a 50-1 shot that ended up running second, but our good friend Brad Anderson, ended up betting the horse to win place or whatever. It was just so funny when that horse was flying late. We turned, and all of a sudden Brad goes, "Oh yeah, I had that horse to win place for X amount of money." We're all just like, "What?" It was perfect.
Well, you and I, my friend, would have had 10G if that horse won, and we had a nice pick
that
for
would
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our ups and downs. Look, everyone knows I'm transparent, Patrick. Our group had a fantastic $8,000 pick 5 score on Wednesday. We had some tough beats and some losses, and then you and I had a nice pick 4 over Hattie's Chicken on Del Mar. So we got out for the weekend, or for the whole week, just fine. But we had plenty of losses too. It's just damn tough to win there.
Yeah, it sure is. Saratoga is so tough.
It's awesome. Well, Patrick, really appreciate you coming on tonight. I know it was a blast. Look forward to doing it again next year. For my good friend and co-host of Ben and Booze, Patrick Kunsel, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz, episode 30 of Horsin Around. Crush your bets anywhere you play this week. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.